Hello everyone and welcome back to Lonk's Takes. Today we'll be delving into part 3 of my ongoing What If story, What If Cooler's Revenge Was Canon? If you haven't seen the first 2 parts, make sure to do so because we are jumping right in. So, when we left off, the Super Namekian Piccolo had just arrived to the battlefield, having resorted to fusion with Kami after both Goku and Vegeta failed to defeat Cooler in their Super Saiyan states. Piccolo's weighted clothing falls to the ground as he stares down at Cooler with evident contempt. Just like Vegeta, Piccolo has a similar grudge against Cooler's kind after what Frieza did to the people of Namek. However, Piccolo explains that unlike Vegeta, he's the guardian of Earth now, and defeating Cooler is simply his responsibility as the new replacement of Kami. While Piccolo continues his speech, Krillin appears through some of the still remaining trees. Suppressing his power, he manages to stay hidden as he finds both Tien's and Vegeta's unconscious bodies. Making a snide comment about how someone his size should not have to carry more than one person, Krillin flies both of them to safety a little ways away. It was perfect timing, as Piccolo and Cooler begin to battle. Piccolo holds nothing back right from the get-go. He has no need to test Cooler out or play around with him. He's the last line of defense and knows Cooler won't hesitate to annihilate both him and the planet if he's given the chance. For the first time ever, Cooler genuinely looks like he's on the back foot of their battle. While he's managing to bring up his guard and throw a few attacks, barely any of them are landing, and each time Piccolo's green fist rocks into him, he is sent careening backwards through the air. Internally, Cooler is fuming. Of all the things to be beating him, it was a human and a Namekian, one that he defeated only an hour prior. If he hadn't been so charitable with the Saiyans, he might have been able to put up somewhat of a better fight, but even then, Cooler isn't sure if he could have won. But, just like Frieza, Cooler seems incredibly hardy. Even as he's beaten around and smacked around by Piccolo, he's still managing to take the hits and fight back. Piccolo notices this too and decides to up his firepower. After landing another punch on Cooler, Piccolo charges up a light grenade and fires it. Cooler has barely managing to block the attack with both hands before throwing it up in the sky. His palms are singed, letting off smoke as he glares at Piccolo. Piccolo does not even smile, charging up another attack before freezing, noticing something behind Cooler. For once, Piccolo is not confident anymore. Gohan is essentially alone on Kami's lookout. With Piccolo and Kami gone and pretty much everyone else spread elsewhere, Gohan feels pretty much useless in this battle. He's standing with his eyes closed to sense the battle between Piccolo and Cooler. Suddenly his eyes shoot open as an explosion occurs directly in front of him, blowing up a portion of the lookout. From the smoke appear the 2 remaining members of Cooler's armored squadron, Salza and Naze. Both of them are remarkably casual, Salza explaining to Naze that this Saiyan run already lost to him earlier, but they have a remarkable burst of power. They seem to think that they had actually killed Gohan in that blast. Naze complaining about how they no longer have hostages to take if Cooler is truly losing this fight. They had both sensed the massive burst of energy at the lookout when Piccolo fused with Kami, and correctly assumed that they must have a base of operations of some kind at this lookout. Before they can decide what to do, Gohan suddenly appears behind both of them and unleashes his most powerful Masenko he's ever fired. They're not the only ones who can suppress their ki. Salza manages to react in time, but getting grazed by the blast, but Naze isn't so lucky, as most of his body gets enveloped by the blast, singeing his body to a crisp. While Gohan is not as furious as he was during his first outburst, he's much more prepared this time. A brief battle occurs between him and Salza, Gohan fighting with as much power as he can to try and take Salza out. However, Gohan doesn't quite have a handle on his potential yet, so even after landing some serious hits, Salza manages to survive the onslaught, though barely. With a wicked grin, right as Gohan begins to show fatigue, he's slashed by Salza's blade. Cutting back to Piccolo's battle with Cooler, we now see why Piccolo had stopped fighting, as behind Cooler was a heavily battered Salza holding up an energy blade to Gohan's neck. Salza remembers how angry Gohan got at Piccolo's defeat, and once again correctly assumed that Piccolo would likewise care about Gohan's safety. Cooler begins to laugh, complimenting his henchman on doing such an excellent job. He wastes zero time, pointing his hand at the ground as he instantly fires a beam directly towards the earth, taking advantage of Piccolo's momentary hesitation and confliction. Just like on Namek with Frieza, Piccolo does not have enough time to intercept the blast. Is this it? The end of the Earth? Have our heroes lost? At the last moment, a second ki blast bursts from the trees, blocking Cooler's attack and sending it off towards the horizon before it explodes in the sky. Standing on the ground is Vegeta, beaten but still alive. He has a tired but cocky grin on his face, thwarting Cooler's attack before his hair turns back to its normal color and he collapses on the ground again. At the same time, Salza is suddenly blinded by a bright flash of light as Krillin flies in and grabs Gohan from Salza's weakened and stunned grasp. Cooler's veins are bulging with rage, so furious he doesn't know to attack or kill first as he begins charging up a supernova for a final time. But he doesn't have time to choose its target, as Piccolo brings 2 fingers to his forehead and begins charging up a special beam cannon. Turning to Piccolo in horror, he throws it at the Namekian with no other option. Piccolo fires as the beam easily penetrates Cooler's attacks, as well as Cooler himself as a hole is blown directly through the chest before the death ball explodes, enveloping his body. There's a massive flash of light from the destruction of the death ball, shaking the planet, but as the dust settles, Cooler's body is completely gone. Flying down, Piccolo quickly checks that everyone is okay. While Gohan and Vegeta are battered, they're definitely in need of a senzu bean. Over the next day or so, all the Z fighters recover from the battle, Goku healing from the heart virus condition due to getting his medicine. Everyone from Vegeta to Gohan to even Goku has been severely humbled by their battle with Cooler. Even before the androids have arrived, they've realized that their strength as Super Saiyans isn't enough to handle the threats that might be coming their way. Meanwhile, in a hidden lab, a certain cybernetic doctor stares at his computer screen in awe and concern. While he had stopped researching the Z-Fighters, after his lab started shaking, he sent out drones and witnessed the Saiyans using forms and a level of strength he had not expected. Furthermore, another alien had appeared, far greater than the 2 who had come before. Realizing that Goku and friends are stronger than expected, Dr. Gero goes back to his research with new ideas and brand new DNA. And that's where we're going to end the story for now. This could be a good point to end the story entirely, but if you're enjoying it, we can continue into the impact of Cooler on the rest of the story, even if he isn't directly around. So let me know if you want a part 4 in the comments down below. But for now, that's all from me. See ya.